Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. It is Thursday. This is Thursday Morning Live, and I'm remote today, which is a little bit different from doing this on Thursday morning, but having a good time. I'm at a conference in Vegas on multifamily, the Multifamily Wealth Project. And boy, there's some great speakers here for a couple of days and a lot of people. So, learning a lot, meeting a lot of people. It's been really great. And so let me challenge you. What are you doing to learn for yourself? What are you working on for you to grow personally so that you grow professionally? Hey, you know what? I've been in the business 30 years and I'm still going to conferences and reading books and listening to podcasts to see what new things we can learn to help grow or to shift the mindset. And I don't even call it a mind set anymore. I call it a mind shift because so many times we have to shift our thinking. It's all about choices, right? The choices that we make on a daily basis to be intentional about what you're doing in your business and your life, whether you're a salesperson, a sales agent, you're out there making calls. How many of those calls are you making? How many people are you talking to, getting in front of? How many new people are you meeting? So I want to challenge you today to take some time before you really get into your day and just kind of think through what you're working on, what steps do you need to take, and how to progress. Hey, I am super excited about this morning. Ryan Cotter is going to be on with me. Ryan's been on several times in the past. He is my partner in the strategic REI that meets once a month at the Asian Bistro at Cortland and Elston. And let me bring Ryan in real quick. Ryan, what's up? How's it going?
It's great, man. Good morning.
Good to see you again. I know things have been exciting in your life lately. You have a 7 week old.
Yeah.
Um, you actually couldn't make the last event because baby was being born. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll make the next one. But we don't have an event this month in May because you have an event that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. And I'm excited about that. But we'll be back in June, and we have a great speaker coming to speak in June, Steve Grammarosa. So I'm looking forward to him. He really he's in the title business, but he'll talk about title and sales techniques and that. So Steve's a great guy. So if you want to get connected to that, shoot Ryan or myself an email. We'll get you the link to get connected to the meetup group so that you can always be notified of what's going on. Ryan, so I always start, and I'm going to compare these notes to the last time you were on, but in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
It's changed. I know it's changed. Um, dedication.
Okay. Why is it
Dedication.
changed? Why is it changed?
I mean, there's so many pieces of your life that you just can't embody them in one word. But more so, we had an event last night, and it was part of like what we're going to talk about. But one of the biggest things that we talked about is mentorship and the underserved community, and why we do what we're doing with our event is to pour into that community
Yeah.
because the lack of mentorship within those groups. And so I've always just, I love being a dad, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much stuff out there now, negative stuff that like, I pour into my kids, and I just tell them like, hey, I got you forever. Like, I'm going to be here. So dedication.
Yeah. Well, we know you're a mortgage broker. You're,
Mhm.
why don't you talk a little bit about that real quick, and then let's talk a little bit about background and your boxing history and how you got into mortgages and.
Yeah, so I'm very blessed to help people obtain financing, right? Um, I creatively come up with solutions to get people into homes. And I'm a big believer of that. You should buy, and to start off with, an income producing property. That's how we got connected. But like your first purchase, if you decide to, and you want to roll up your sleeves and create a path to financial freedom, create multi-generational wealth for your family, is to buy an income producing property, a 2 flat, a 3 flat, a 4 flat, something where you live in one and you rent out the others, right? That covers your mortgage payment, and it sets you on a completely different trajectory in life, as opposed to, nothing wrong with buying a condo or single family as your first purchase, because it's better than renting. But what's better than buying a single family? Buying a 2 flat. What's better than buying a 2 flat? Buying a 3 flat. What's better than buying a 3 flat? A 4 flat. So
Right.
start off with income producing properties and then go into the single family home. But I regularly save deals from Chase, Wells Fargo, you name it, right? They just don't have the vision that I have, because simple solutions are evident everywhere and people just can't get out of their own way to find those simple solutions. So again, very blessed to help many consumers close on the American dream of home ownership.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit about house hacking. House hacking
Yep.
today is pretty sexy, right? People live in a place, they fix it up, they sell it, they move on to the next one. But what really caught my attention about you when we first connected was your uh, 4321 program
Yep.
and how your ability to do that. So talk to people about that real quick, because you just mentioned, buy a 2 flat, buy a 3 flat, buy a 4 flat, but talk about the strategy behind that and how somebody can actually execute on that program. Because I love multifamily, right? I'm a multifamily guy, and but there's a strategy in small multifamily that
Right.
is effective as doing 200 and 300 units, like I like to do.
Right. So it's funny because I have conversations with, within the last, I'll say, couple weeks, like head CEOs of major mortgage companies. And I explain my 4-3-2-1 steps to financial freedom, right? You buy a 4 flat first, right? You use the low down payment programs that are available to everybody. It's not like a special trick or anything. It's called an FHA loan, right? It's available to every person out there that qualifies for a mortgage. So you use this low down payment tool to buy an income producing property, and then you re-leverage it after you create equity in the property, right? It's not a get rich quick scheme, it's a get wealthy over time plan. But as I walk you through this, and I'm telling you, I walk the heads of the most successful mortgage companies out there today. I think I've talked to like 5 top 20 lenders, like the presidents, and they're like, oh my God, like I wish I would have met you 20 years ago. We got to pour this into the Hispanic community, the African American community, because it's just something that is just like right there, that is like staring everybody in the face and they don't take advantage of. So my system is use an FHA loan, buy a 4 flat if you can, right? If it's in your property stock where you're located, right? And then you live there for a little while. You don't have a housing payment because the rents are covering the mortgage. You got to roll up your sleeve. You're a landlord, man, right? So there's going to be some, you're going to get a phone call in the middle of the night. Hey, it clogged my toilet, right? But you're trading that time for wealth, right? You could be trading that time for sitting on the couch and watching Netflix, right? And don't do that, right? Trade your time for wealth. Then after a number of years and you've created 20% equity, you refinance out of the FHA loan, okay, because you're only allowed one FHA loan. And then you buy a 3 flat, theoretically, with the same FHA loan, 3.5% down. You've created equity and you're using the government's money to create wealth for yourself, right? Number of years go by, you buy a 2 flat. You refinance the 3 flat, free up the FHA loan. There's other programs out there. I'm very I'm simplifying this as much as possible. It gets way more complex as you become more your financial wizardry elevates.
Yeah.
We have other tools for you, but just to make it super simple, and then you buy the single family home. I will show you how to create wealth with as little money as any scam, promotional thing out there. Like, you got to have a job, right? I'm not telling you like, hey, you're going to be a millionaire because you don't have a job. No. You have to have a job. You have to have decent credit, and you got a little money for a down payment. You got those three pieces. I'm going to show you stuff.
Yeah. So here's what else is interesting. And you talk about creating wealth, and that's my big thing, right? Is I want to teach people how to create generational wealth.
Mhm.
And these are assets that can build wealth that can be passed down to generations. But here's what's interesting is you do that four flat, and now can you use the rents from that to show as income when you go to buy the three flat,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. You qualify
Plus,
for.
Plus, now that you don't live in the four flat anymore and you live in the three flat, now you can take depreciation on the four flat because it's a straight investment. And that creates more income for you because it's a write off on your personal taxes.
Yeah, when I tell people like, hey, you're gonna get to know this thing called a Schedule E, which is a brand new thing that you don't have right now. And your Schedule E on your tax return is going to be your best friend, right? Like,
Right,
what do you
right,
mean, my best friend? Like, it's going to let you write off everything, and you're still going to be able to create income. It's
right.
crazy. Like, some of the richest people on the face of the planet. Um, Pay no taxes. We all know
Yeah.
this, right? And it's because of the tax code. So there's two types of people. I always say this, like, those that plan to avoid paying taxes, and those that avoid planning for taxes,
Mm,
right? So the ones that plan to avoid paying taxes, they know a Schedule E, they know your Schedule C, they know your S corp, they know the tax code left, right, and center because they're using it to their advantage, right? That's
yeah.
part of the financial literacy that we kind of like, crawl, walk, run, sprint, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to help you with the crawling and the walking. And then, as I've said many times, then we pass them off to people like Mike right here. Like, hey, you got 3 properties. Your next step is like a 20 unit building, a 50 unit building. You're there, you're ready to go. You don't just start off that way. So, we help you with the crawling and the walking, and then I introduce you to Mike, who's going to help with the running and the sprinting.
Yeah. So what's interesting is, hey, I think we should pay taxes, right? I met a guy who served a couple of tours
Mhm.
overseas in the service. And I said to him, thanks for your service. And he said, thanks for paying your taxes. So, I think we have to pay taxes at some point or should, but don't overpay is
No,
the
no, no.
whole,
And so, like, like, even to, I'm going to not throw some names out there, but the richest people in the world that avoid personal income tax
right.
pay tax on everything. You pay tax on a can of gas, a can of Coke, property taxes,
Yep.
materials that you buy. Some of the richest people, they say, like, oh, you don't pay any income tax, right? Are you kidding me? Like, I spent $3 billion in materials last year that had a 10% tax on them. Right. So, like, they don't pay, it's not like they don't pay taxes. They pay more taxes than anybody,
Right.
because
Right. Right.
they're generating economic, stimulus into the world, right? They are hiring people. They are, people that they have workers that pay taxes, right?
Right.
Too. They hire the workers that pay taxes. So, getting away from, the little piece of this individual doesn't pay personal income tax, but they generate so much business in the world that the income tax that they and sales tax, like, get the story right?
Yep. Yep.
And of course, those people should have a benefit because they benefit so many other people.
Right. And there are benefits and you should have the benefit. Hey, so the big thing is though
Mhm.
that I had put some posts out this week saying we had a big announcement, a special announcement, because we're not doing our event this month, where we would normally have a speaker come in, talk about multifamily, talk about finance. I like our networking event because what we get to do is everybody gets to introduce themselves. We always go around, introduce ourselves, talk about what we're working on, and say what we need help with. And it's been great because the people have really, you see the connections start to build amongst people that are at the event. So I'm going to invite people to come out in June, watch emails. If you need to get information about our meetup, strategic REI, definitely email me or email Ryan. We'll get you that link. But Ryan, why are we not having our event in May?
Because we are all going to be at the real estate event of the year in Chicago. So I have an event
Wait, this is going to be the real estate event of the year?
Yes, 100%.
Knockdown drag out, right?
Knockdown drag out is right. So it's called the Chicago Real Estate Rumble. So, being able to create, the path to financial freedom, you also should give back, right? So a bunch of years ago, I got a bunch of people within the real estate community, lenders, realtors, everybody to get together, go, let's have a fun event. I've personally been a fan of boxing my entire life. I fought in the silver gloves, golden gloves, was captain of my college boxing team, did a bunch of charity boxing events after graduation to stay in shape. And then I started this event, which is real estate people lacing up the gloves, punching each other in the face, and all the proceeds benefit at-risk youth programs within the city of Chicago. As I said, the most thing that I to tie in dedication is, I think the biggest thing that we have as a hurdle in Chicago is the lack of mentorship. So, I get all these real estate people together to compete in this event, so we sell out, what is a great venue, the Park West Chicago. We'll have about 800 to 900 attendees watching these real estate individuals. And these aren't like professional fighters. These are total white collar fighters that are doing this for the first time. And all the proceeds benefit Mercy Home for Boys and Girls, which, is a mentorship based organization, pouring into those underserved communities, of the South and West side. So instead of having our typical meetup, we're going to invite everybody to come out to this amazing event. I mean, you got realtors punching each other in the face. You got open bar, right? You got networking.
Well, this has got to get pretty ugly if you got open bar and realtors that are allowed to punch.
It's always a success. That's always a recipe for like either success or disaster, right? And luckily we combine the two.
Are you putting gloves on?
No. If you can kind of see, like, this right here, this nose has been all over this face many times, but I have, hung up the cleats, for lack of better words. Recently, I'd say, like, I got in the ring probably like 4 years ago, and then the missus was like, "No more, no, like, you're old, dude. Hang it up." And I'm like, "I'm not old." And then I'm like, "Oh man, yeah, you're right. I got this. I don't got this."
Oh, that's funny. Well, good for you. So this is at the Park West, right?
Correct.
And Park West is a pretty prominent venue in the city.
425 West Armitage, if you need to Google it. May 25th, 6 p.m. doors open, bar opens. And then the fights will begin around 7 o'clock. Again, come watch your favorite or most hated real estate agent get punched in the face or punch somebody. We're so blessed to have so many people influencing. The Chicago Association of Realtors is a big proponent of ours. They are blasting it. Sarah Ware, who's the president. We've done a bunch of like offshoots of the old ESPN commercials of kind of like satiric examples within the car headquarters. So we're going to have speakers there. It's going to be fun. There's going to be some live entertainment other than the fighting. Some musical guests and maybe a movie star or two, legitimately.
Nice. And how many people traditionally have shown up for this event?
Always sell out. I mean, if you don't get your ticket, you won't be able to get in. It's typically 600 to 800 people. We like to keep it like so that you can still network, because I always tell people, like, this is a network. This is like all real estate people, real estate lending and construction. Got attorneys.
Well, I love to work a room. So
work a room and have some cards, right? It's a fun event, but you're missing out if you're not talking and moving around asking people, hey, what do you do for a living? You got a card? Hey, let's talk on Monday after the event and see where maybe our mutual interests align.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So, and you said that this event, and I want people to understand that this isn't just a boxing match, but that this event supports Mercy Home for Boys and Girls.
Correct.
Why don't you just, for the people that don't know, what is Mercy Home for Boys and Girls?
I mean, the name just says so much. They've been around since 1887.
Right.
They help at-risk youth with mentorship and guidance. So they're taking the fight directly to the underserved communities, grabbing those children that are in harm's way and saying, "Hey, you're with us, right?" And what I've been blessed to see over the years that we've had this event is, a child that was in an at-risk situation, mentored, go through high school, graduate college, and then come back and decide to pour into the community, which, I mean, that evolution is just amazing. Like seeing somebody that was on the front line, going back to the front line and being a different agent of change. Right.
Yeah.
So, I can't say enough. mercyhome.org. Feel free to, look at their information, but, so many organizations like Mercy Home need all our support, and we can't give them enough support.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, listen, as usual, it's a pleasure to connect with you. So glad that you're here. Looking forward to coming out. Make sure you put a couple tickets on the side for me.
Of course.
And,
I told you're going to get in the ring if necessary.
I hung those cleats up right next to yours, buddy.
Absolutely.
I love boxing. I remember being a kid, my dad taking me to Golden Gloves all the time. We used to come down, lived in the suburbs, would come down and go to UIC and watch Golden Gloves all the time. So it's always a good event, even if it's a bunch of amateurs, just, it'll be fun to watch. So, hey, how do people get a hold of you if they want more information about the event coming up, or the 431 or 4321 program, or even about our meetup?
Yeah. So, email me at ryan@mtgcorp.com. You can check out our website. We got a few. The MTG Corp, obviously, realestateboxing.com. And then on YouTube, we are at 4321 hack. So you can get more success stories about like people that are doing it, right? So it's always great to learn from the people that are, doing it right now. Somebody that bought a 3 flat, somebody bought a 4 flat, how they use these tools to create wealth, passive income, all in the same, the same transaction. So 4321 hack at 4321 hack on YouTube has a bunch of videos of success stories before and after. So any of those, you'll get a hold of me. You can look at, you can track me down on LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social media tools. We're out there.
I love that, realestateboxing.com. That's awesome. Wham zoom. Hey, Ryan, so what is your favorite restaurant in Chicago?
Oh, wow. I'm going to give a plug to Portillo's. Man,
Wow.
their Italian beef with a side of cheese fries and a lemonade, man, you just can't beat. And I'm not the dip guy. I'm completely dry, right? Dry Italian beef, set of fries, cheese on the side, put a little cheese on the Italian beef, and a lemonade, and like a 12-year-old kid in a candy store. Like, doesn't get any happier for this fat kid.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Hey, summer's coming, and I just wanted to say that I'm a juicy guy. I like my beef
For me.
dunk,
I'm
juicy.
try. Yeah.
But hey,
That's a Chicago thing too. Like, like dry, juicy. People are like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't get it.
yeah. with summer coming, Chicago's like probably the greatest city in the country to spend time in the
Mhm.
summertime. You got
Yep.
the lake, there's all kinds of entertainment, there's, free concerts, there's restaurants and all kinds of things to do. Uh, you know, uh, what is your favorite thing to do in the city in the summertime?
Street festivals, man, like the abundance of just places to go out and congregate with your neighbors, your community, street festivals. I mean, like, and that would even kind of encompass farmers markets, man.
Yeah.
Nothing better than waking up on a Saturday morning, taking the kids, walking out in the beautiful weather and grab some tomatoes, grab some, cucumbers, make yourself a nice afternoon, salad, and then you're out, you're active. So that's the beauty part about Chicago is they have so many street festivals. Like every weekend, there's something going on, live music, a non-Portillo's Italian beef would be, available at every one of those. So local restaurants that have, their, their stand that I'm going to try that place. I've been meaning to go that place. Let me get a snack over there. That's
Yeah.
probably, in my personal opinion, the best part of Chicago.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, thanks for being here this morning. I appreciate it. And thanks to all the listeners that were listening in this morning. Looked like we had a bunch of people on and off. If you're new to the show and you're out on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We are always bringing out relevant content, great content. If you know somebody in the multifamily space that needs finance help, or needs help getting started and building their business, have them reach out to Ryan, have them reach out to me, have them plug into Thursday morning or multifamily unplugged on Saturday. But plug in, get the education, get the knowledge that's going to help you grow, help you progress. Come on out on May 25th to the Park West if you're a realtor or someone in the space and you want to box with somebody because maybe you got a grudge or just because you
Commission
want to do
disputes
it
settled.
or you've always dreamed of doing it. I can think of some people I've always dreamed of doing it with.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm getting in the ring though.
Yeah.
So anyhow, come on out on the 25th. It's going to be a great event. A lot of networking, a lot of people. So if you like networking, if you like meeting people and seeing how you can help people and add value to their lives, it will definitely be a place to be. Ryan, thanks for being here. Do you want to tell everybody how they can get a hold of you one last time?
Well, thanks for having me. Of course, it's always a pleasure. Ryan at the MTG Corp or Ryan at realestateboxing.com, depending on what you're looking for. Those two emails pretty much cover it all. Need money? Ryan at the MTG Corp. Got a grudge? Ryan at realestateboxing.com.
Ryan, thanks for being here. You have a great day. Everybody have a